Hello and welcome to NDTV. I'm Rohit, Khilnani. Joining me is this wonderful team of Baazaar, Saif, Rohan, Chitrangada. Thank you firstly for giving me time.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on a lovely show.
Thank you, Saif. In true Baazaar terms, your stocks are really high after Sacred Games. That's what everybody's saying. Right. Is that an energy boost?
Of course it is, you know. I mean, it's nice when something does well or when people appreciate it. Right. And I think it has gone down well. It's a really well-written show. Full credit to the team that has produced and written and all the other actors who've done such a lovely job. Right. And, you know, I'm really happy I could be a part of it.
Right. Chitrangada, you just produced a movie also. How was that experience? Is production difficult? I don't know.
It is difficult, right? I mean, everybody knows that. But I think I've been very lucky with my first that I managed to get Sony on board, and they really did take care of the distribution to everything. So to have them back me and really believe in it, because we were at it for almost 2.5 years. So that I honestly think was a big plus for me. I didn't have it so rough, but just the fact that it takes so much time to bring the right people together, I think that gets very exhausting. And if people like what you've actually done, then that feels good, yeah. So it's been great.
Our only complaint is we see you less on camera, which we'll see you in Baazaar. Saif, you know, when we interview producers, they always say, "Ye bahut thankless job hai." Is that true? Is that
because no, I don't think. I think it's a beautiful. I mean, the films that I've produced, I've thoroughly enjoyed producing. I don't know. My office is on the 2nd floor. I live on the 10th floor. It's brilliant. Just come downstairs. Right. The fact that it's being edited there, the ideas that are being thrown around, I think it's a beautifully creative job, and I miss it, and I'm happy we've started production again, because you want to contribute something apart from being an actor. It is a difficult job. I'm not saying it's thankless, and I'm not talking about, you know, run-of-the-mill arguing about how much the lights should cost or good fees on lunch, but deciding which film to make for which budget. You know, that's the call. How much to spend on this story? Is it a story or is it a joke? As in, is it a 4-line story or is it a 3-hour film? Yeah. How big is the idea? Thank you. Like, what is it? Is it a comic book? Is it a film? Is it a graphic novel? Sometimes you say, no, this is not a film, this is a graphic novel. Right. Like a really discerning producer could make all those calls.
Right. You know, you've also been acting non-stop, and you produce as well. Were you involved in the things that you said right from the start when you produced earlier?
See, when I was in production earlier, the greatest thing about it is that Eros, and I have to give them the credit for it, changed the status quo of the industry. They came in and they kind of disbalanced things where earlier you had fixed producers and fixed actors and how much you get paid and whatever. But these guys said, why don't you take control of your own destiny? Why don't you produce yourselves? And in their own way, they've been masters of their universe, and they're empowering us by saying, listen, you produce the film, we'll give you the money, we're the distributors. Why do we need the existing powers that be? So it's actually a really revolutionary thing that happened, and a lot of us got into the game and took control of our own lives.
Overall good experience?
Absolutely. Great. Loads of money and you know, loads of creativity.
Right, right. Okay, here you're looking really, really handsome, as you do always. Is this guy the wolf of Baazaar?
He is the Lomdi of Dalal Street. He's not the Wolf of Wall Street.
Are you disappointed?
The Indian
going down.
The Indian movie industry is not at the stage because I think society is not ready for that mirror yet. Right. Or we don't have the guts to make a movie about industrialists getting so trashed on drugs that they're trashing their Lamborghinis and not remembering. Yeah. And you know, and when we do trash our cars, we don't talk about it ever again.
But the same audience,
that's what happens with the big money here.
The audience watches Wolf of Wall Street and a lot more shows on Netflix. The audience is pretty much ready. When will you all come out with?
With what?
The show like what, Wolf of Wall Street?
No, I guess it'll come. Look, films is just a reflection of society. Right. We haven't seen too many films on this also. Right. You know, on the market and like the kind of a businessman, a Gujarati Angadiya and that kind of vibe. Right, you know. So in time, it'll all happen. I mean, you know, of course it'll happen. Right. If we go that way.
Okay, so tell us about him. What is he like?
You tell him.
Oh, you tell me about him. You can
He's a Gujarati businessman. He's shrewd. He's like, you know, a bit ruthless, and I think he's slightly dark with some lighter streaks. I mean, there's some redeeming qualities. He's an anti-hero. Yeah. and he was, I think, the most fun I've had acting in a very long time, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Rohan, this was your first film.
Yes.
What was it about?
Well, the film is obviously about money first and foremost. It's based around the stock market, and really, it's I think the guy I'm playing, Rizwan Ahmed, he's a good representation of the youth in a sense. The people who come out of university, super ambitious, but have these massive dreams, but don't really know how to achieve them and go about it. So he has a dream of working with Shakun Kothari, and that leads him to Bombay. He has no idea how he's going to do it, but it's such is his ambition that he's willing to move away from home, go to a new city, and say that he's there to really stay and make his mark.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Chitrangada, where does your character come and tell us about there?
I play Mandira Bain. I'm Shakun Kothari's wife, as played by Saif in the film. She's a homemaker. She's not one of these. I mean, there's Radhika Apte, of course, in the film as well. So they're all very ambitious people, career-oriented people, wanting to make it big. Whereas this one is just a homemaker. She's married to this man. Of course, she loves him, but she probably doesn't like the way he runs his life, and that's affecting their marriage.
Right.
So she's like I've been saying, she's like probably the conscience, of the film. She's the most pure character, and then how she also becomes part of the game. And so you will see. I can't say much, but that's what she is. Yeah.
So if your character trusts him and then he joins you, does he trust him at any point really for him to join the Baazaar world?
I mean, it's like a guru chela kind of vibe for a while, but the point is, I actually think a lot of this is based in some kind of fact. Like sometimes big business can use people, and you need somebody to use.
Right.
So that's also the kind of scene.
Right.
And I think the film is really about Rizwan discovering what his limits are and how far he will go actually to cross the line, and what it means, and what he learns. And he actually learns what his limits are, and he's becomes and he realizes where his conscience is, and that kind of thing. So it's actually a moral tale.
Okay.
It's a really classy film, and it starts with a guy about to jump off a building, because he's in, and it sounds, I don't know if it sounds too academic, but he's in purgatory. He's between heaven and hell, and let's see what happens. And Bombay looks a little dystopic also. There's these industrial ugly buildings in the back, and there's this kind of haze in the air, and it's hell.
Right.
And I think it's fab.
Right. Tell us your character. He wants to become like.
Okay. So I think Saif sir once mentioned in a previous interview something about this film could have been set, anywhere. It's about really meeting your heroes. Sometimes we have this image of our hero that this person is like that, and we want to be like them. And you asked an interesting question about trust, like if Shakun really trusts Rizwan. But I think from Rizwan's point, he completely trusts Shakun, because you kind of trust your heroes because you want to be like them, you want to work with them, you want to do everything the way they would have done it. So there's this sense of blind trust, which can be almost like, maybe is it silly to trust someone that much? But he's your hero. So I mean, this could really be a film even about cricket that Saif sir could be playing, like a guy like maybe someone like Sachin, and there's a new cricketer coming and he wants to be like that. So it's a universal story, I would say, about meeting your hero.
Okay. Has any of you followed the stock market otherwise at any stage in life?
Little bit.
Little bit?
Yeah, I'm invested. I've
Made money?
pretty much invested almost all my money in that.
Wow.
Well, not almost. Yeah, almost. Okay, let's just say almost for now.
Yes.
So yeah, I just follow whether it's going up or down, and that's, I think, yeah. But it's not like a regular thing on a daily basis. Yeah.
Would you advise people to do that? Is it?
Well, I do trust the market. I think over a period of 10 years, I mean, all these guys come and speak to you this language, but it's actually true that you do end up making more money than you probably would in property.
Right.
So yeah, so on an average, if you are building up your portfolio and starting to invest, I would say that it definitely is probably a safer one.
Right. Would you advise people? Is it an easy thing? Like, can you just watch?
No, I think it's like there's certain instruments that carry more risk than others, and you can be very safe also with a reasonable and quite a high level of percentage of return.
Okay.
And my brief is I don't want to take any chances at all. I want to be very boring, and as safe as possible.
Safe as
Safe
possible.
as safe as possible.
Sorry, I just.
Tell me, what about you?
Oh yeah, in fact I grew up wanting to be an investment banker. So I studied mathematics and econometrics because that's what I wanted to do. I grew up wanting to be successful and rich, and that was my image of it.
Right.
But I think my heart was never really in it. So I never, even though I understood it a little bit, I didn't really invest as such. But for anyone who wants to invest, I would actually say that you should always get someone who knows what they're doing, but don't blindly trust them as well. You know, overlook like a nice financial analyst who can really read the markets and read the commodity markets if that's what you're into. But having an overall idea is good, but you need to have someone who knows what they're.
Right. Anything you learned about the market with this film that you didn't know earlier?
Well, in this film, our market is quite volatile, so I'll say, which makes the stakes a little bit higher, which is always interesting. I mean, it'd be boring if the market wasn't volatile in the film, right? Yeah.
You know, this is looking like a very slick film, you know, where the posters are very cool. Everyone, whoever we talk to these days, they're like, we want a chunk of the millennials. How to get the younger crowd to the theatre. Is this a thought that crosses your mind as well?
No, I mean, it doesn't actually, I don't think about the age group that I'm catering to.
Right.
Maybe I should, but I've never thought. I just try and be as honest as I can to the moment, and I feel, you know, you got to be the right person at the right time with the right story to connect. You know, I don't think it can be engineered.
Right.
I've read people. I've read some letters that some directors have written that I'm trying to reach the youth, so I'm surrounding myself with young people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that kind of thing really works.
Right.
I think you have to. If you tell a universal story, I think everyone connects.
Right. That's what a lot of actors say. But tell me, is this on your
Really?
Yeah, that's true. So tell me, is this on your mind? Because our generation, we have grown up watching your movies, but you know, for the younger generation that's just stepping into the theaters, watching movies online on Netflix, they still are getting to know you all. Is it important to reach out to them?
Oh, like that you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, see, if you carry on doing decent work and it's you're being put out there, people will come and see your work. I don't think there's any other way of doing it except that you continue to do good work out of whatever that gets offered to you. But beyond that, I think the whole idea, I don't think you can actually approach it that way. That I need
and
people
be yourself, you know, and if people like you, like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
I'm listening to what Chitrangada is saying, and I'm like, yeah, I think that's great. So if it makes sense, then you connect.
Right.
And if someone's talking rubbish, then you're like, oh,
Like I still follow Javed Saab, you know, I think he still makes a lot of sense about a lot of things, or Shekhar Kapoor, who I follow on Twitter. So even though they're not of our generation, I think I don't know. Yeah, I think he's right. If you understand what they're saying, you connect.
Yeah, you tell us. The new
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
you know,
yeah, well, yes.
I can say specifically to Baazaar firstly, I think this is the kind of film which is about exactly that, which the millennials will really find interest in, because we've all been, I mean, I was at that place where you go to university, you don't go to university, you study, you don't study, and you're like, everyone's ambitious in a certain way. Even the person who is not, you know, traditionally ambitious, that they want to grow up and make a lot of money and have a successful career, they're ambitious in other ways. So specifically to Baazaar, the film is all about ambition, which is what the youth is all about.
Right.
Yeah.
But you hang around with a lot of young people, I guess. So what
Hopefully.
Hopefully, right?
Yeah. So what do they say? Do they go and watch movies? How do they select what to watch?
You know,
They watch NDTV Hop.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Hop, yeah.
Unless you're wanting us to say that, no.
Yeah.
Please carry on.
Especially if a hip name like Hop is always great. But no, on a serious note, I think people, I mean, my age and maybe younger than me, we kind of just choose what's interesting. I wouldn't say it's about relatability as such. Even though that's a great thing, if you can relate to it, it's amazing, you'd want to watch it. But if content is good, and if content is true, and if content is clean from your gut, and they're saying it in a way that you want to say the content, and you're not, I think the approach is you shouldn't make something to entertain people. You should make something to be truthful to yourself and tell that story. And people automatically, whether it's young, old, identify with it and they go and watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. This
Did you get your answer?
Yes, I did get my answer from all of you. But lastly, before we go, no interview is complete because the industry is going through a very different phase. I have to ask you guys, Saif, how do you see all this? That, you know, for clearly by going by reports, for many years, women were exploited, men are coming out, they are losing their jobs, they are losing work. How do you see this?
well, you know, as I keep answering this question, and I think because I've been doing a lot of press, we seem to be talking about this a lot. I mean, I'd be quite interested to hear what other people also have to say.
Right.
I mean, first of all, it's a terrible thing. We have to look after women, we have to look after men, the workplace has to be safe. We just say this, and I believe it, of course. And some terrible things have happened.
Right.
Now, in the future, if somebody is going to be unfairly blamed for something, I don't know. This trial is happening very quickly. People are losing jobs. In a way, that's good. In a way, I'm worried about the future. I don't know how far up it will go. I mean, are we saying that only there's a certain level of people that, you know, we've caught and condemned, and are you going to, is the nation going to have the guts to follow this all the way to the top? Are there people in media? Are there people in politics?
Sure.
Are there pillars of this community? Will their names come out, or will it just be on this level?
Right.
I do think also there's been a system in place in the movie industry. If you ask ladies from the 70s and the 60s, they'll also tell you that the atmosphere has been such that it's kind of being catered a certain way.
Right.
And I think that has to change. I do think people will think 10 times before doing anything like this, and that is an achievement. That's great. If it's true, it's terrible. That's my reaction every time.
Sure, yeah.
There's a lot that has to be fixed,
Right.
you know, and I hope it does get fixed.
Right.
Sorry, that's my take.
Chitrangada, as a woman, how do you see this? A lot of brave women have come out. Yeah, a lot of brave women have come out. All credit to them for just putting their name out there.
No, it's not easy. Not easy in this society, you know, and we are very different from the West. So there is a lot of backlash that you have to be ready for. But having said that, I honestly feel that I'm very proud of. And I really mean it. I'm very proud of how the film industry has reacted to this, and how fast decisions are being made overnight. Some very powerful people are being put out of their jobs, and it's been so swift. There's a committee in place, and I'm so proud of them, for doing this.
We're cleaning up our...
Yeah, like it's amazing,
Credit, yeah.
But I mean, that's probably not happened, I don't know, but I do think it's not happened in the corporate world or the media houses.
No, we were reporting that, it didn't happen with MJ Akbar as fast as it happened
did not.
with everyone
Yeah,
in the film
all the
industry.
legal, probably even in the courts and the legal setup as well, there are a lot of women who are coming out, but it's but the way we have responded and the way the industry has responded has just been unbelievable. So I am very hopeful for better times. Yeah.
Right. We will let you go without this.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've said everything so beautifully.
Right. But you guys have a lovely film around the corner, so best of luck for this film. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.